Okay, so more fun, Montreal Supercross or Riviera de Loup? More fun.
I got a story about Riviera de Loup. Oh man.
What is the one that you can tell on the air?
Yeah, I got a really good one. Everybody loves it. I got my friend. His name's Johnny Spink Stogie. He's like he was my mechanic. He was just a long hair guy I met when I got my apartment. He was into he was into all the Iron Maiden and all that crap. But anyway, Stogie's really cool. Anyway, I brought him to Canada to be my mechanic because they would give you a plane ticket for your mechanic and yourself. So I flew in there. I flew into Riviera de Loup for that. What's that guy's name? Marco or something that runs the Terrio or something like that. Runs that race. I forget his name. Buddy Ford. Yeah, Buddy Ford. That's it. I'm thinking of Giuseppe Longo or something like that over in France. I don't know what I'm thinking of. But anyway, so I fly into the race. I got Stogie with me. And of course they had that big party before the race. So Mike Jones and all, we're all out there, Carl Valancourt, and we're just doing donuts on the stage. And Mike would take a rubber and suck it up through his nose and blow it out his mouth. And like, Mike is just out of hand, dude. But he got all he just loved the attention. It doesn't matter if they were girls or whatever. Of course he loved the girls, but like, Mike just loved having attention, dude. He had everybody laughing their asses off. Me too. I love Mike. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but I'm sure he's doing good. But so we're at that race. We're at that nightclub. Jonesy's burning his tire out. I think Rich might have been there, and then all of a sudden, but they have these pictures windows at this club, and I guess it was like I don't know, during the day. It's like a storefront, so you could go by the window and look at whatever. So Stogie's out there, he's got these balls that hang down to his knees, and fucking he takes his ball sack and he's winging his balls around in a helicopter in the front window, all drunk, and all the chicks are laughing, everybody's cracking up, and but I guess Betty Ford didn't like that. So, and the next day I show up at the race, and freaking, he's like, "Hey, Sommo, we got a problem here. All the couches are ripped out of the hotel room, and all the furniture's in the parking lot, and the mechanic's swinging his balls around." And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, I don't want you in my race anymore. I got you. I arranged for you to take the train, and I got you a ride right here to take the train. And here's the money I promised you, and good luck. And I was like, "Fuck you, Stogie." I was all fucking pissed off. But it ended up being a great thing because I got on that train. And freaking all of a sudden, I don't know where I must have had a flip phone back then, a Motorola. The thing's ringing, and I open it, and it's Dave Arnold. And he's like, "What do you think? Would you like to come to Japan next week and help me build this 125? We're going to make it aluminum." And he's like, "Jeremy just quit, and so did Rich, and you're the guy if you want to do it." I'm like, "Sign me up." And I didn't tell him I just got kicked out of Canada. But anyway. That was freaking, I was at the lowest point in my life. I was so sad and bummed and just like, what am I doing? Now I'm done with that race. But anyway, so yeah, it's awesome. My life is like always just wide open good and then like wide open bad. It's like, I never have a happy medium, dude. It's like, but I like it like that. It's exciting.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, when you talk to guys who know you from back in the day, there's a lot of laughs, right? Like you had a good time, you raced your dirt bike all over the world, put in some good results. But there was some downsides, right? You've had some tough times in your life a little bit, like some substance stuff, which obviously affects a lot of motocrossers. You're not alone in that at all. But it's definitely been some dark times, Silver.
Yeah, I guess you could call them dark times. I look at it like experience. You can't say I'm experienced. I've been through it all. I'm glad what happened to me because I would the things that I know that most people probably don't know, about being in prison and stuff like that. I went to prison because I got a DUI. I got divorced. Of course, I did the wrong thing, and it turned into just being a bigger deal than it was. I could have went to jail, but I took prison over it because they were giving me a lengthy term. It was going to be like they gave me like a 2-year term for, for like my third. It was like a third DUI actually. So they were going to put me away, or second DUI. I've only had 2. But it was 2 within, I don't know how it worked out, but there was a couple more charges I don't want to talk about, but whatever. So they were going to put me in prison for like 2 years. And so, you could do 2 years with half time. or you could do a year in jail. But who wants to sit in jail behind bars when you can go to prison? These guys are telling me, and you could get out, and you could get running shoes sent to you, and you could get radio. And I'm like, oh, cool, that's what I do. I'm a motocrosser. I'm gonna go to prison, and I'm gonna fucking have people send me my package, and it's just exactly what I did. I went, because and plus I could heard, you can go to a fire camp if you go to prison, and then they so of them taking your 2-year sentence down to 1 because you get halftime right off the bat. So instead of doing 2 years, you get 1 year, and then they let you go. And if you're good, you can go to fire camp, and then they take every day as 3 days. So that's exactly what I did. So I did 10 months, and it was nothing. It was the best time ever. But I got there, and they were telling me, you only have 3 months, 5 more months left. By the time they bounce you all around, so I did a prison sentence up in Susanville. It's up by Reno. And so I got up there, and it's like all these fucking windows are broken out, and there's birds, what are those things, pigeons flying around, and bird shit, and guys with handlebars that have been living there forever with their black and white TVs in their cell. I'm like, wow, man, that's crazy. But it was scarier than hell. I was shitting bricks, but anyway, I mean. So it was, but I got there, and everybody's telling me, I'm like, I'm gonna go to fire camp, just like these guys in jail are telling me, go to prison. It's like going to college. You can get a degree. You can, do whatever you want to do. So I took that. I took the longer term. Ended up being a shorter term than if I would have went to just plain old jail. But everybody's scared of prison, but actually it's like it's actually like it's not bad at all. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's not bad. But so I wrote a letter when I got there that said my dad owned a Honda dealership when I was a kid. I raced for factory Honda. I could fix any small engine you guys have. I'd love to fix all your chainsaws and go fight fires and do all the things you guys do. It really fascinates me. I'd like to even be work for a fire department one day if I could. And I wrote that letter, and I snuck into the office where the clerk was, and I knew the one kid to work. You get jobs in prison; they put you to work. So there's a guy in the clerk's office. I don't know, black, white, whatever he was, probably white, and he made me 18 copies of the thing, and I sent it. I got 18 stamps. My mom sent me some money, and I stamped all these 18 envelopes and sent them away. And I was gone in 2 days, man. They shipped me right out of there. I went up to Lake Tahoe, up on top of the mountains at this place called Ishii Fire Camp, and man, it was awesome, dude. And like I got the job as a small engine repair mechanic. I only had 3 more months to go, and like they have a creek going through. They stock it with trout. I'm making it sound all glamorous, but it really was. It really was. I mean, the diesel mechanic has he had his pipe in there and his Playboy magazines and everything else. But I mean, it's only guys, so I mean, you're still in prison. You can run away at any time. Like you could walk away, you could run down the mountain, but if they catch you, then you automatically get like 2 years. So it's like, why run away? Like all I did is put my work boots on and I jog on that track all day. I just and I'd work out. I got out of there stronger than I've ever been in my life. My son runs up and jumps on me and goes, Dad. I was like so rock hard. It was crazy. So I just took it as a training episode and rehab and whatever else you call it. I mean, I got an addicted personality, but I mean, I can pretty much control it. I can stop anything when I want to, and I just like to have a good time, But that was a bad time in my life because I'm going through divorce or whatever, Nobody wants to get divorced, really,
No, it doesn't sound like a good time. Was this after Honda, or was this during, like, while you were doing stuff for Honda, or like when was this?
Yeah, it was right at Honda. I was like at 06 or something like that, and I always used to wonder. Like Sam Mishima, he was the team Honda manager like a couple of years ago, and he was a good friend of mine there. He worked there every day too, and I always asked Sam, I'm like, Sam, how much longer do you think I'm gonna have this job? Because I was like 38, I'm like, he goes, you're doing great, so don't worry about it. I go, you're bringing in Fred Walters, you're bringing in all these other guys. I'm not dumb, and I could see you got Carmichael coming up, and you had his mechanic had those 2 kids. I forget their names right now. They were good. Gosler, the Gosler kids are up there on their 80, and I'm like testing 80s with them, and it was fun. I'm like, all these kids are coming up. I know you guys, you're gonna have to ask me somewhere along the line, but really they wouldn't have had to, because like Spud and Dre Dirks, they all got jobs at Honda, and they're gonna, they're doing great. I was right there. I was above Spud. I was right there with Dre. Dre was like the best friend of mine. So was Spud. And but I took, Spud was going through a hard time with his wife at that time, and like somehow Spud, I take it to the next level, I guess, you know, and that's what I did, and then so, but Spud ended up keeping his job, and he's doing wonderful. He's in Ohio. They're married still. They got kids. He's testing quads, doing whatever he's doing. But that was my job, so I'm kind of bummed.
Yeah, that would have been you, right?
Yeah. Looking back on it, and Dre even said it. He goes, "Yeah, Sommo, you really fucked up." And I was just like, "What?" He's like, "You had it," and I was like, "I did," and that's what it, because I was kissing ass. I was going down like you only get paid when you're testing for Honda for the day, and they were paying me like $300 a day. Plus, if you drove out to the track, you get like 50 cents a mile. So I was driving there and back every day and work riding all day. But I mean, I was just doing everything I could. And then like during the week, I'd be like, "Dave, can I come up and like wash the bikes and do the air filters, change the tires, put gas in them?" And I was just kissing ass, brown nosing as much as I possibly could. But I wanted to get a job at Honda. I mean, I grew up, my dad had a Honda dealership. I love Honda. So I was like, anyway, I was right there, and then I had to blow it. And then when I got out of it, and I called Dave up, and he's like, "Okay, I went, Dave, man, you're my savior." He goes, "Don't call me. I have nothing to do with this bullshit you put yourself in." I was like, "Shit, man." Yeah, but like, anyway, I need the tough love. I love Dave Arnold. He made me laugh, dude. Freaking, he's that guy's super smart. I mean, we're over in Japan. He's looking at all these bikes, stopping, looking at all these like weird looking bicycles. That, I mean, he got some weird contraptions in Japan.
He is a smart guy, man. Yeah. Smart guy.
But yeah, I was over there with him, and then like the first time I went over there with Dave, I did like fucking like 200 push-ups the night before I went testing the next day, and like I couldn't even freaking ride the next day. I was so excited, like I couldn't sleep, so I'm like working out like a madman in my hotel room, probably drank like 4 or 5 beers, and like go out to the track and say I couldn't even move. But like that was funny. Dave's like, "Why'd you drink all those beers?" I was like, "I couldn't sleep." You know, I'm like, "Really? I did push-ups, though, Dave." He's like, "Yeah, sure you did." He didn't believe me. But
you should write a book, Sommo.
oh, I did. That's what I did when I was locked up. I wrote all day, man. It was awesome. My mom sent me. I taught myself how to like draw. I can draw a little bit now. I could do some art, and I just kept myself occupied. I read books the whole time, and I started writing a book, and I wrote a bunch of pages. I don't know what happened to it, but I think my ex-girlfriend Tammy, I think she's from Tehachapi. The last place I had him was up there, and she called me the other day, said she's got a bunch of my pictures, and she said, I'm pretty sure she said she has that book I was writing, so I need to get that thing and publish it. It'd be an exciting book, dude. I mean, if I just said everything like it was, it'd be nuts.
Are you still sober, or did it help, or did you go on and off the wagon a little bit?
Well, of course I played here and there, but no. Nothing hard. I mean, I'll drink a couple beers. I mean, I had 2 beers last night, 2 Coronas, but I mean, I don't do anything. I smoke my vape a little bit, and I'll drink some beers. But no, I'm 100% sober. I love being sober and just being able to talk to people. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm confident. There's no hinky shit going on. It's an awesome to have the respect from people, because I've been over there on down and out, rock bottom you should call it. It's like rock bottom's a gnarly place to be. But I help people. I pay it forward. I help people. I go to church, and I thank God for all this stuff, and I help kids. Like I was working with a couple of ministries, helping kids, like that come from broken families, that come in. We take them snowboarding, surfing, riding, whatever it may be that they were more involved in, and it's a lot of fun to see kids smile. Kids that don't. It's really, the way I look at it, I'm a total spoiled brat. I've had everything. UPS came by my house every day for 25 years. I mean, I was getting presents every day. I was like, I had everything. So it's like, if I can give to these kids that didn't have, a chance, or not, don't say a chance, but like, just didn't have weren't born into a motorcycle shop, and then taking it strong from there. So it's like, I like to give back to all these kids and do what I can to make them happy and smile. And like, it's really weird, it's weird getting old and seeing, it's like, really enjoy being a kid. I wish I could be a kid again, so I hang out with kids as much as I can.
You probably don't, like you probably now, but looking back, like, dude, you never had a job for, whatever, say 15 years of your youth, you raced motorcycles for a living all over the world, making money, not getting rich, but looking back on it, you're probably like, fuck, that was pretty damn cool, man.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, my girlfriend I'm with now, Cassandra, she was driving me home over to where I'm living right now. I was over helping her do some stuff at her house, and I had her drive by my old house here in Laguna Niguel that I lived with my first wife, Julie, and of course Jason. My son's doing great, by the way. But anyway, so I drove by there just to let her see like where I came from, you know, and like this is my house right there. I go, I did all that stamped concrete with my brother-in-law. I go, I did everything to put that roof on. I go, I made to put the freaking French doors right here. I did the stamped concrete. I built that wall. I extended over there, put my boat over there, and like I had 17 sets of fireworks out the back. I could see Aliso Viejo, Laguna Beach, all the way to freaking Saddleback Mountain, and you know.